Greetings to one and greetings to all. It's been a minute since I've posted any videos on my YouTube channel. And just based on the most recent news that President Biden has dropped out of the race for his re-election bid to continue as President of the United States. And earlier in the week, I did receive a call from a client who was very interested in knowing whether or not Biden would win or whether Trump would win. And I do want to just admit that I only looked at the transits at that time for both Biden and Trump. However, after hearing the news about Biden, I certainly went back to take a look at the progressions. So what I'm looking at Biden's natal chart, which has been rectified by one of my colleagues in the astrology community. I can't recall the person's name in the moment, but I did not rectify this chart. A colleague did. And then I also progressed Biden's chart, progressed it to Sunday, July 21st, based in Washington, D.C., and I have progressed the chart forward using the Bija method. And I was interested in knowing if the secondary progressions, according to the Bija method, would actually show what happened with respect to Joe Biden making his announcement to drop out of the race. And my answer to my own question is yes. And so just quickly, in looking at the secondary progressions, we see that Biden's progressed ascendant is 0 degrees of Pisces. We see that his progressed Uranus is at 0 degrees of Gemini. So both of these planets are at what astrologers call the ingress point, which is 0 degrees of a zodiac sign. And the aspect that is made between the two is a square, which represents a challenge. And so the ascendant would represent his personal, how he appears personally. And this square aspect to Uranus. Uranus is the wild card in the zodiac, so astrologers don't always know exactly how it's going to turn out. But this is Uranus in Gemini. Gemini is disposited by Mercury, so something most likely would be communicated. In addition, Biden's secondary progressed sun at 21 degrees of Aquarius is making a square to Biden's natal Mercury at 21 degrees of Scorpio, and Mercury is the ruler of Biden's midheaven, which is in fact his career, public standing, and achievements. And again, that is another square. Mercury is involved, communication, and yeah, he communicated something real big about his career and public standing. And we also see that progressed Mercury at 25 degrees of Capricorn is making an opposition to Biden's natal Jupiter at 25 degrees of Cancer. And Jupiter is the ruler of Biden's natal ascendant. And so while I will say I would not have stated that Biden would withdraw from the race. I certainly would have said, well, something suddenly and unexpectedly will show up as it relates to Biden's career, public life, and personal life, and it'll, have some shock value to it. Again, I would not have stated that Biden would drop out of the race. But I certainly would have spoke to it in general terms. So for those of you who were wondering or are wondering whether or not this shows up for Biden astrologically, I say yes, it shows up for Biden astrologically. So thanks for checking out the video. Feel free to subscribe and recognize that others subscribe. And I'll be posting more videos soon. Be well.